etc. What does it mean to you? How many facts do you know about it? Do you want to know facts? Let's talk about it a bit. Hey, one of the oldest plants on the earth, all natural, grows easy, and it's just a plant. Why would anyone make it illegal or try to and not know the facts about it? The facts might wow you. And the fact that the U.S. government hides from and covers up the truth is really sad. In fact, the fact that anyone ever has been put in a jail cell over marijuana is just stupidity. Hemp in history. You should look it up and do some research on your own. Hemp oil cures cancer, and the plant is so great for so many things. I could go on and on, but let's see what some have to say.
Yes. Hey, Dan Rathernaut, Artists International, right here at the Dome, January 14th at the Clone to Vote. We're just circulating the place. And what's your name, sir?
My name's Easy, man.
Easy. That's easy to remember. What's your name?
Crafty, man.
Crafty.
Crafty
And Easy.
Crafty and Easy, AJ Hustlers. Also representing the Baco 420 magazine. Coming to you soon.
Sweet.
You know what I mean?
Sweet.
So, stay tuned for that. You know what I mean? We're trying to get everything legalized, trying to get everything all straightened out here with the county, with the state.
Right on.
With the whole world,
The
man.
feds, man. That's the biggie. Get those assholes out of our world.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. You know? So right now, you know what I mean? We're here at Clone to Vote, Bakersfield, the Dome, just trying to get everything, straightened out, like I said, and legalize it all, man.
Right on.
That's all I gotta say.
So what do you think? I mean, what is your comment on the common sense, if there is any, on making a plant that cures cancer, among 100 other things, illegal? I mean, what? Can you even grasp the? Where do you start with that? Because
there's nowhere to start with that, man.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where people just aren't thinking logically, and
right.
People need help.
People need help. That's for sure.
And if this is something that's going to help people out, physically, mentally, in any sort of way.
And what about the economic impact?
The economic impact, man, is ridiculous. You know what I mean? With this, I can't say it'll bring our economy all the way back, but it will be a huge impact.
Yeah, right on.
So,
all right.
That's it, man.
That's it in a nutshell. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Rock, crafty and easy.
As I say, ACA Hustlers, Baco 420 magazine.
Be looking for that.
Soon.
How can they get that? How can they get a hold of that?
Oh, man, Baco420.com.
There you go.
Go on Facebook, look it up. We've got it all over the place, man. It's about to drop here really, really soon. Baco 420.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks, man.
All right. Peace.
Right.
So tell me, what do you think about laws against the lovely plant called marijuana?
I really think it's not right that the government is trying to take away a patient's right. So I back this up 100% because a person's medical rights is everything to me. Like, if you legitimately have that heartbreaking disease that you need it, then I believe that you should have it, and the government shouldn't be trying to take it away. Absolutely.
Now, are you for complete just legalization, kind of like
I am very
like doing there's an initiative right now about making it like wine, basically. Like
yes,
you can.
I am 100% for it.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
Right.
Legalize it because so many people are developing so many diseases at younger ages.
Yeah.
And it legitimately has been proven that it helps.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Insomnia, all that.
Yeah, I know from personal experience. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you think that it's a good, healthy thing, but there should be some kind of regulation as far as sort of like alcohol and cigarettes?
Definitely. If you're a chain smoker for marijuana, I believe you're using it for the wrong reasons and purposes. But if you legitimately have an ache or a pain like arthritis or something, I believe that you should be able to use your medication.
Right. And what about recreational use? What if I just like to get stoned once in a while?
I'm down for that too.
I'm down for that. I mean, if I can have a beer and a shot of Jack Daniels,
Why can't I have a joint?
Right. It's okay.
Exactly.
Cool. Very well put. Say a word about medical marijuana or marijuana in general.
Oh, yeah. We support medical marijuana legalization. Legalized today.
All right. Good. All right, Dan Rather, Artist International, just caught up with
That's Joy.
Meow, and she's one of the ganja girls, I think?
I am. I'm a Baker 420 ganja girl.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm starstruck, and and we're here at the Clone the Vote at the Dome, and it's very cool. And so what are your thoughts on medical marijuana and the legalization across the board versus regulation or whatever?
I think legalization needs to happen. I'm all for it. I would do anything to advocate it. It should have happened probably 5 years ago. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If Douglas McAfee was here right now, he would have been like, it should have been in 9 to 5, 9 to 4.
Go Douglas!
Go Douglas!
Normal!
So yeah, no, it needs to happen. I'm for it. I want to spread the word. I want everyone in California to know that this does heal. It does help. It's a plant. It's actually grown like tomatoes. My tomatoes and my Mary grow together really well together.
Yeah,
and they both fight cancer. And so I don't understand how I can grow my tomato plants in my front yard and not get a ticket for having more than 12, and it fights cancer. But then when I have 12 or more plants of my cannabis, my medicine, boom, no tickets, you can't have it, you can't have it in a secret location and an uncharted space. No, that's not cool. That's not cool. It helps people, and I'll do anything I can to make sure that we legalize it. So if there's an initiative out there, you guys need to register to vote. Please put your name clearly. I learned this in August. And sign at the bottom. Make sure you put your zip code and sign the initiative. Let's get this legalized.
Yeah. And if I was President Obama, and I was standing here right now, what would you tell me?
I would tell you, ouch, man.
Yeah.
Burn, dog. Like, you know what, bro? We're playing. Everybody does it. There's a website called everybodydoesitcom.com. Your name was probably there until you, like, I don't know, started working for the Secret Service or something. You know you lit a doobie up. We all have done it. You guys, that's ouch. Like, just burn, Obama. Burn, baby.
That's awesome.
Because I'm burning at the other end, dog.
All right, say bye.
Bye.
Dan Rather, not Artist International, the Dome, Clone to Vote, with the infamous, the living legend. State your name, sir.
Douglas McAfee.
And who do you represent?
I'm a long-time activist for for marijuana reform.
Absolutely. Aren't you part of a NORML?
NORML, yeah. President Biggest for NORML for 18 years. Started NORML back in 92.
Holy
cow. And 95, we had a rally right in front of the courthouse with anyway, we were doing a lot of stuff.
Been doing a lot of stuff. So what are your thoughts on pot laws in general? Do you think they should be legal across the board?
Well, really, we worked hard on getting Prop 215 passed in 1996, the Compassionate Use Act, and we passed it with 56% of the vote, and that legalized marijuana in the state of California, really, for medical use. Well, all you need is a recommendation from a doctor or a recommendation, and there's activists in the state right now that think that marijuana is already legal in the state. We shouldn't make it any more legal. Can't really make it any more legal than it is now, and I'm thinking that if we come up with a new law that we can vote for in the state of California, I think that it should be for the good, and they shouldn't be taking anything away.
Right.
But I'm for legalization of marijuana, but I don't want all restrictions.
What about the feds? How do we get rid of them?
The feds would continue to work with our state legislation to get them to push other states to follow line and suit with medical marijuana states. But not only medical marijuana, but the marijuana states.
How do we stop these ridiculous illegal raids going on?
Well, I'll tell you what, we rally and we support people like Joe here tonight, and who in Long Beach was arrested.
Right. We know this Joe Grumbine. Look him up. Yeah.
So, and I think that the activism there has helped, and activism here is going to continue to help, and anyways.
So if I was President Obama, standing here right now, what would you say to him?
I'm saying he's wasting a lot of resources and energy and money on on cannabis, and you should use it towards something else.
Good point. All right, Dan Rathnot Anderson, I'm here with... All right, and we're at the Clone the Vote thing, and I just wanted to know what you thought, or your thoughts are, on marijuana in general being legal across the board or regulated, and just if I was the government and I'm sitting here, tell me what you think.
If it was up to me, I do believe it should be legal all across the board. I am a realistic person, and I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. Just for the simple fact that the way our government is ran, it needs to have its fingers in things, and if it's completely legal, they're not going to have their fingers in it. So yeah, medical is probably the way to go, just because we can semi-control it and keep them at bay a little bit. Just needs to be strengthened, and pretty much it needs to be strengthened.
You mean
Prop 215?
Prop 215. Okay.
It's a beautiful initiative, and it was written very well. It's just a little vague.
Right.
If it could be clarified for our favor.
Right.
Then we'd be just...
So if I'm Barry Sotorio, President Obama, if I was standing here, what would you say to me?
Honestly, I'd tell him he's a motherfucker. I'd tell him that you led me to believe one thing and you turned around and turned your back on me.
Ooh, I think a lot of people are feeling that. I would say Ron Paul all the way, eh?
Yeah, Ron Paul. I voted for him, 2 years back when he went.
Wow. He's got some great views on so many things, man.
Yes, he does.
All right, thank you for your time, man. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Peace. Dan Rathnot, Arts International, and we just caught up with...
Cassie Zamadromi, Kathy Z for short. I'm a retired RN. I worked pediatrics for many years. I did chemotherapy. I had to retire early because of my health. And now, after many years, I've recovered in a lot of ways, but I have chronic pain after 8 surgeries in 8 years. And now I control that pain with cannabis. I was in 4-organ failure, and I've lost 200 pounds.
Wow.
And I have now 2 titanium knees and a ceramic hip, and next month I get another ceramic hip. And I take maybe 2 Tylenol coatings a day. I have 4 ruptured discs in my back.
Oh my God.
And I have the mesh that you hear about rolling up in the abdomen. I have that as well.
Oh my God.
And the pharmaceuticals that they gave me just for the arthritis almost killed me. So I had to find a way to manage the pain. And smoking, you only get an hour and a half. If you know the cannabinol system, it's all in how the route and the delivery system. So I went from being the smoking, I found out about cannabis butter and started making edibles. But I couldn't eat enough edibles to maintain myself. So I learned how to put it into your regular food that you eat. Like I make a green cheese sandwich. It's a grilled cheese, but you make it with can of butter, so it's a little green. But it's enough that it helps control my pain during the day.
Right.
Or and I make sure I take the cannabis on a consistent basis around the clock, because that way it's just like an antibiotic, that the level you have stays above what will maintain you pain-free. I have pain every day, but with this I tolerate it. I can get up. I go to court. I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning so I can be out and in court by 8:30.
And what do you do at the courts again?
We do court support. We go and we let the judges and the DAs and the people in the jury know that we're there supporting those people. Those people make it so I can have my medicine.
Man.
I am one of those people that is extremely sensitive to pharmaceuticals. I was in 4-organ failure. They told me I had 6 months to live. I had a 13-year-old son.
Oh, man.
I couldn't, I had to get better. I lost 150 pounds in 1 year.
Wow.
And
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. No, you don't need to.
Oh, no, I was kidding.
A good level of cannabis and your weight would just balance out, I'll tell you. Because that's how I've lost the last 50. once you get to a level that you see, cannabis deals with stress.
Right.
And it's the balance system of the other organ systems in your body. That's why it works with AIDS wasting, but now they're doing research because people lose weight and get normal weight from it.
Right.
And so, but it's a balance thing. And in a world that's as crazy as our world is right now, with the stresses that we have, this is the medicine we need. I go back and look. I read Edgar Arthur Waite. He's an author, a poet, and he looks into the occult and spiritual stuff. But he, in one of his books, had a tincture recipe from 1670.
Wow.
And I'm looking into all kinds of things because you see, there's so many ways to use cannabis. Now there's research that using it like a vegetable, like to juice it, like to juice grass.
Right.
Well, I want to look at that because a lot of the diseases that I have are immune related.
Okay.
And so, they're having great success with that. The reason I'm an RN. The reason I came back to cannabis as my medicine was I read the studies out of U.S. San Diego, and I had neuropathy, which there was not, and there still isn't, pharmaceuticals that really help it, but the cannabis does.
Right.
And so I thought, well, I remembered that it helped me so much with social anxiety, and when I first had the back spasms and things like that.
Right.
So I went and I got my card and I said, okay, but it wasn't until I learned about the edibles or learned to make the tincture. Now I have to use glycerin for mine because I don't tolerate the alcohol in my system very well. So I use glycerin and I can put it under my tongue. I can put it in my drink. I can put it on. I make if I'm having a day when things aren't settling in my stomach, I can put it in instant pudding. I don't even have to cook it up. I can put. I make a wonderful salmon where I take fresh fruit and poach the salmon in the fruit juice, and then I take a favorite cheese and put over it and drizzle it with my tincture.
Wow.
But these are all things, and I don't get that way. I'm not bringing extra calories into my diet.
Right.
I'm eating healthy, and these are the things. I was on a couch. I was in a wheelchair for years. I had to take a hold of the side of my car to get to the back to get to my wheelchair. I couldn't, or I'd have to bring my walker, walk out. It was. And I get out and dance. Right now, my hip is pretty bad. A year ago, next month, it was already 1.5 inches down from the other side. The bone was more. And so, and I walked a lot this year.
Right.
But if I don't care because I have to get this message out to people.
Well, you're doing that.
I don't want them to be laying on their couches. We work too hard for that. I worked 28 years for Kaiser.
Let me ask you something. What is your views on laws against the plant known as marijuana?
Well, I have just been through a case that lasted 18 days in Long Beach that was a travesty.
Are you talking about Joe Grumbine?
I am talking about Joe Grumbine. I went to 20-some pre-trial hearings, and then I was there all but one day.
So is Charles Shelton, the judge, as big a douchebag as I've heard he is?
He is unbelievable.
Wow.
He wouldn't even look at us. He would sit with his head turned, and he was constantly saying things like the good citizens, talking about the jury, and then referring to the defendants. He allowed them to be called criminal investigation, and when it was objected to, he would leave it in the record. But they did finally agree in the jury instructions to tell them that was not, they were to disregard the criminal.
Right.
But it's in their mind.
Yeah. Once it's there.
When he would say medical, he would make the detective in the case would make little finger marks like medical.
Like Mary, let me get you doing that. That's cute.
Medical.
Yeah, like Joe.
And like he was going to wink. And he said that there were no legal doctors that would recommend it, and he is very wrong with that.
Of course, it's perjury.
And it's ignorant.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm out here to educate people.
Well, you're doing a good job. If I was President Obama, it's his real name.
I call him
Barry.
What I do is I call him. I have him on speed dial on my phone.
Yeah.
And I call and I talk to him, and I leave my messages, and
That's all you can do.
You know what? That way my voice is heard.
Right.
Oh, I may get to do more. I might get to speak to some of the conventions. If I get to do that, I will.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I already have one video on medical.
So if I was very Obama, I'm him right now, what would you say to me?
You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. Your grandma she would, she suffered. This medicine could have helped her.
Yeah.
It helped me. It could have helped my mother. It could have helped the children I cared for. In many ways, it could have protected the healthy cells from the poisons that I gave. Why can't we have the research? Please, don't keep this medicine away from us, and don't take the whole plant away. Please, let us use it medicinally. Please.
That's good. What about laws in general of just basically legalizing it across the board, just for recreational or whatever, like wine or alcohol?
I think it should be like a vitamin that you take on a regular basis.
So
when I take my tincture, I don't get high.
Okay, but I mean, are you more the mindset it should be treated as alcohol and wine and cigarettes, like taxed and regulated, or made into a vitamin form and sold as a vitamin?
Well, I feel it needs to be all of that. I don't think that it should be taxed, because I believe it truly is a medicine.
Absolutely.
But if it's done for recreational, yes, because they do that with other things.
Sure.
But you see, the thing is, they have what they call those luxury taxes, or I don't know if they call them different for alcohol and cigarettes. But you see, alcohol and cigarettes cause problems. That's why you tax them, is so that the burdens that they put on society will be covered. But you see, with cannabis, that's not the case.
Right.
With cannabis, it cures you. And they just came out with a study last year that said that if you... They took people who had smoked cannabis for 20 years.
Right.
And they checked them. They had 53% less cancer than cigarette smokers.
Wow.
And they had 3 or 4% less than people that did neither.
Well, I heard smoking the cannabinoids cures cancer in the lung.
Yes, it can.
The latest study I read.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Wow.
And
Rick Simpson, have you heard of Rick Simpson?
I use Rick Simpson's hemp oil for my pain, and it is excellent.
Amazing. Wow.
I use it under my tongue. Some people think it's a little gross, but when you realize how much it helps you.
Right.
With it, I don't have as much of the breakthrough pain during the day.
That's all. Hey, we got to get in there. They're speaking right now. Say bye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, Dan Rathernaut, Artists International right here, and we just caught up with
Phil Ganong.
And what do you do, sir?
I am an attorney. I am a California licensed civil jury trial lawyer. I do civil rights work as well as general civil litigation in front of juries.
Wow. The real deal.
Well, I like to use that great equalizer called the jury system that holds both government, insurance industry, and big manufacturers accountable to the little people.
Wow. Well, speaking of accountability, this thing is about laws against marijuana in general. What are your views on laws against this plant we know as marijuana?
I generally think that cannabis is a extremely beneficial herb. I liken it to the grapevine. And, for example, if we were to use the hemp plant for clothing, for food, for textiles, that's just another way of saying clothing.
Well, right.
Cordage, meaning rope.
In the days past, we used to, right?
Well, in the days past, you were required to grow it during World War II.
Wow.
Because of the need for it, for ships' lines and cordage and ropes and whatnot. In the pre-revolutionary era, America grew lots of hemp, and it was considered to be kind of a mainstay. Again, because it was very, very valuable for using for rope, for cordage, for clothing, for insulation, to burn, to eat. to write on. People don't understand that the Declaration of Independence was actually written on hemp paper. So if you look at the hemp plant, the cannabis plant, in its native form, it's a lot like the grapevine in that it produces a fruit. You can eat it. You can eat the hemp seed. And it's good for everyone. Now, if you take that grape and then you ferment the grape and it becomes an intoxicating beverage, which, of course, has been used for thousands of years for recreation, for medicinal purposes, to improve bad taste of water or whatever.
Right.
And then you liken that. You don't want children drinking wine.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the obvious effects. So, the same token, if you take the cannabis plant and you allow it to go to flower and you nurture the appropriate strains, you come up with an herb that's very powerful but non-toxic.
Right.
And it's powerful in its ability to control and reduce and kill infection topically.
Right.
It's powerful in its ability to deaden and control pain without addiction. It's powerful for its ability to reduce the interocular pressure in folks who suffer from glaucoma.
Can you explain inocular pressure?
Yeah, interocular.
Interocular.
Yeah, it means, actually it's intraocular. Ocular means the eye, so within the eyeball itself, glaucoma is created by increasing pressure, which tends to destroy the interior structures of the eye. And so what cannabis does is it lowers that intraocular pressure without the need to use pharmaceutical poisons.
Wow.
Obviously, it has tremendous effects in treating stomach disorders and nausea and the inability to eat, which is secondary sequela from cancer treatment, chemotherapy, and radiation therapy. It has a tremendous amount of holistic benefits with none of the toxic side effects. So one might wonder who fights cannabis.
Yeah.
And the answer is pretty plain. It's the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical poison companies that can't control it. And, of course, it's our favorite alcoholic beverage industry that doesn't like it as a nonviolent alternative to what they serve. So I think laws should be there as well as education to prevent young people from getting their hands on it and using it any more than they do tobacco or alcohol.
Right.
So I think there needs to be laws that control that. More importantly, I think there needs to be honest education of the public, not reefer madness.
Right.
And any time the government lies to people and people learn about it, they lose respect for government, and you create a whole class or maybe even a generation of people who don't respect government, don't respect laws, and they look at safety officers who are there to so-called protect and serve really as Nazis, people who are there to take away our rights.
Yeah.
So government is playing this wonderful dysfunctional role of lying to people about the evils of cannabis merely to support their own political, economic interests of the big industries that buy government, that buy politicians, liquor,
right,
tobacco, and pharmaceuticals. So what I'd like to see, well, that's what I feel about the laws that pertain to cannabis. At the federal level,
right,
they're wholly extortionistic. They're wholly the product of a corrupt, non-functional, what's a good description?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's a unholy, bastardized relationship between those people we elect to serve us and those people who are super rich and powerful that have bought and paid for and corrupted those people that we elected to serve us. So what we have in the way of cannabis laws is we have third world justice.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see that changed.
Yeah.
At the state levels, question comes to mind, why would the federal government want to intervene with any state that chose to occupy the field of medicinal cannabis? Do the feds really think they know more and know better about medicinal cannabis than the population of the state that creates the law to allow its citizens to use it? And if we look at really the epitome of hypocrisy, we look at Great Britain now trying to patent and market medications that are derived from THC and the CBDs.
Wow.
And yet the federal government still says this is a drug which is highly addictive, very dangerous, has no medical value.
How do they get away with just blatantly lying like that?
They've been doing it for years.
Wow.
They get away with it because no one challenges them,
right.
I guess.
Wow.
It's really unfortunate because it's created a whole class and generation of people who have no respect for certain aspects of the federal government. I, for one, am very, very proud to be a Californian. I'm very proud because we were the first state to recognize the medicinal value of cannabis. I'm very, very unhappy with my federal government for a lot of reasons. You know, the $6 trillion deficit that Halliburton and the industrial military war complex spent of our tax dollars, putting us in a deficit, and then the government has the audacity to say, I have to pay for it. I wasn't the one that built the bombs or sold the bombs. I'm not Halliburton. I didn't get any of that money.
Right.
But I'm being asked to pay for it. And I'm paying for it twice, if we're going to go off on politics. I'm paying for the war, the $6 trillion, and then every time I fill up my car, I'm paying for the fallout of the war, which is $100 barrel oil.
Yeah.
If you might remember, before Bush, whose main assets are oil, started the war, oil was selling for about $22 a barrel. So when Bush started the war, at the request of Dick Cheney, the former president of Halliburton, the Bush family's assets value went up 5 times.
Ouch.
So they got super richer.
Right. Right.
The federal government got super broker to the tune of $6 trillion of deficit.
Jeez.
We are still paying for it at the gas pump. Still paying for it.
Yeah.
Every time you fill up your tank, you're transferring money from my paycheck that I work for, and it's earned income. It's not like Mr. Romney's interest income at 15%.
Exactly.
And I pay 30, 39. So I transfer my money from my paycheck into Chevron, Shell, Exxon, BP, and the Bush's bank accounts.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they get away with it? It's because the American people haven't gotten quite to their Arab Spring yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they will get to the American fall in November of 2012, and we'll cast out the whole lot of them.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the higher-ups, one reoccurring question we've been asking people, if I was Barry Soetoro, a.k.a. Barack Obama, and I was standing here right now, and you had, a one-on-one, and I just walked in and said, hey, what's up? What would you say to Mr. Obama?
Let my people go.
Ooh.
What I would say to him is, Mr. Obama, why are you allowing the federal U.S. attorney to send out these letters to landlords to terrorize them and to shut down legal medicinal cannabis cooperatives and associations in California?
Good question.
You're doing it without due process.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, you're doing it in total ignorance of what the benefits of this herb are, and you're doing it to the total glee of organized crime. Mr. Obama, do you really want to subsidize organized crime? In a world where you now have the power to take any American citizen off the street based upon an unsubstantiated suspicion that they're terrorists and hold them indefinitely, hold them for life without any due process rights.
Wow.
Do you really want to give organized crime back the keys to the palace here and turn millions of people that are afflicted that turn to cannabis to treat a variety of ailments into criminals? Do you really want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you really want to forego the jobs? Do you really want to forego the tax income that could go to the cities and the counties and to the state? And do you really want to subsidize organized crime? How about we prosecute the laws when they cross the state lines, and we leave the states alone to regulate their own medicinal cannabis?
It'd be great. Get back to that ancient paper that Ron Paul talks about once in a while, that Constitution.
Oft-cited and rarely followed.
Right.
Yeah, I would ask Mr. Obama to let our people go. Let them make these choices. It's got to be clearly obvious after 80 years of attempts to, stamp out cannabis and lying about the evils of cannabis that it's just not true.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the majority of Americans today feel that medicinal cannabis is totally appropriate. We have 16 states, I believe, last count, and the District of Columbia that all have legalized medicinal cannabis in some form or the other. Why does Congress think that they have the right to tell our citizens what's better for them?
Yeah.
So
good question.
I'm really hopeful that maybe after the election, if Mr. Obama is reelected as president, and frankly at this point I almost prefer Ron Paul because John Huntsman, because they at least have a more mature view, more realistic view about how to deal with so-called illegal drugs. But maybe Mr. Obama can erase what people think about him now as being a traitor to the medicinal cannabis world by deferring to states.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take much. One sentence would do.
One sentence.
It just says that the Controlled Substances Act will defer to any state laws that regulate the practice of medicinal cannabis within state borders.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
And with that one sentence, you could alleviate a lot of stress and strain on the federal government's budget and the U.S. Attorney's budget.
For sure.
And, oh, by the way, in the Eastern District of California, those district court judges have more cases per judge than any other district in the United States. So I'm sure that they would enjoy not having to deal with these cases either.
Yeah. Wow.
But, it just depends on how much money is in the pockets of those who support the president from the pharmaceutical poisons industry and the alcohol industry and the tobacco industry.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mr. Phil, so much for your time.
Thank you.
And, amazing facts and support. This is awesome. All right. Say bye to everyone.
Bye, everyone. See you later, Mr. President.
All right. Dan Rather Not, Artists International. We just caught up with
Liz Clark.
Liz Clark, and what do you do?
I am a general manager at an association.
Awesome. And we're asking people, what are your feelings on laws against the plant known as marijuana?
Foolishness.
So you're saying that just pretty much all drug laws just need to go away?
Yeah. I think that it's a mental issue, mental health, and I don't think that it's a criminal situation unless they do break-ins or things like
Absolutely. If you have an injured party, then there's obviously an issue. All right, good. And if I was Barack Obama, the so-called president of the United States, and I'm standing here right now, what would you say to me?
I'd say I think you've got more common sense than what you're doing with this situation.
Interesting.
I think he does.
Yeah.
And so how can you take him serious as a president?
Right. Very good. Thank you. Say bye.
Bye.
There. Right. And we're rolling. Dan Rather Not, Artists International here. We just caught up with
James.
Home James. What's up, James? And what do you do, sir?
I do a lot of things. One thing I've been doing for about a little under a year now is delivering medical marijuana, which is what this video is about, I guess. Right? Am I to presume that?
No, you are. We had talked beforehand, yes, and
so
we are getting random input from random people about 2 questions, basically.
Random input from random people.
Right. This is James, the delivery driver, and I imagine. Oh well. Also, I know you from Bakersfield. We Are Change.
We Are Change Bakersfield.
We Are Change Facebook. Look it up.
Yep.
A lot of good info all the time there.
Find that on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first question would be, what are your feelings on laws against the wonderful plant known as marijuana?
Well, most laws are federal laws. We had Proposition 215 that works rather well when it's used in its perverted form. What it was is they gave the power off to different counties to try and have different sheriffs from different counties try to regulate how Prop 215 works, and of course how judges usually what judges usually do, especially in their courts, is interpret the law to you. So they're interpreting how Proposition 215 should be carried out. That's where we get into all these different conflicts. But it's usually only federal agencies that want to crack down on different states, California especially. We've had the most success, I think, with medical marijuana. Definitely generated some of the highest revenues for medical marijuana. And the state has seen all this money pass them by.
Yeah.
They could have a state tax, and California could be its own republic. In terms of financing its own programs, yeah. If you're looking for revenue money, you can certainly get it from a lot of these different shops around town.
Right.
And if you had a tax implemented a long time ago, we'd probably be out of a lot of the holes that the state has. That's how come we can't even pay state workers.
Right.
We have to give them IOU checks.
Sure.
So all this money's been passing them by, and it has a lot of federal intervention. I don't, without going too far off the subject of medical marijuana, it's really what's supposed to be about small government and leaving it up to states to decide such issues. But it seems like the federal agencies are always stepping in. A lot of these federal agencies are owned by other agencies, like the Food and Drug Administration. And in turn, they're ran by people like Pfizer and people like PaxilSmithKline. So they certainly don't want natural forms of medicine or any kind of thing that they can't regulate or put into pill form or control the chemicals that make it.
Right. Now, on that point, a couple of people had brought that up. Do you think the biggest adversary to free and open use of medical marijuana, cannabis, whatever, is the corporations that are making huge amounts of money on pharmaceuticals?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, some of the first people to absorb the licenses that were available in Oakland, I think this was about 2 years ago, they had a program to get licenses to grow warehouse-sized grow operations, indoor and outdoor. And I believe it was R.J. Reynolds, DuPont, and somebody else that were absorbing these licenses. And I'm sure if you did a little bit of research, you'd find it was Monsanto at the very top of it all.
Wow.
Creating probably what could end up being a genetically modified form of marijuana. So that would be their patented form of marijuana and then they would probably let that one be legal, and that one you could probably buy at 7-Eleven eventually.
Right.
Wow. Right, because that'd be the end game right there, is making some sort of synthesized plant that's marijuana-like that has some of the same properties, but you're still messing around with Mother Nature, and the medicine is in the Mother Nature.
Right, and you still can't grow a couple plants in your backyard without... You
can't grow a couple... You can't even grow a couple tobacco plants in your backyard without having a problem.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Right. So this is real medicine, and it has to be in its natural state.
Wow.
But you could make a genetically modified marijuana. That way, if you had any seeds, you could only get like one crop out of them, probably. If you tried to reuse the seeds, if you found them in there.
Right.
So there's a lot of there's quite a bit to it all, but I think the long and short of it is we only see federal agencies intervening with state initiatives. If the people spoke, then the people spoke, and that's how it should be. And as far as leaving it up to individual counties, that was a really bad idea.
Yeah.
and it wastes money more than it collects money.
Right.
They're spending money on having these different meetings and
Yeah. Gotcha.
Anyways, yeah.
One more question before we go. I know we can go on and on. Believe me, I have a problem cutting all these short.
You probably edit this too.
No, it's good. The one other question I've been asking is, if I was Barry Sortoro, aka Barack Obama, and I was sitting here right now, and you had me one-on-one, what would you say to me?
Well, first off, you're not going to get a straight answer from any politician. I don't care if you're seeing them in passing or running into them at Ramco.
Good point.
You're never going to get a straight answer from any of these guys. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you what you want them to hear. The reality of it is, folks, Barack Obama has no power at all to change any kind of marijuana law. And if he did, they'd take that power away from him immediately.
Right.
if he was really pro-medical marijuana. But look, he hasn't really had a stance on medical marijuana since his campaign platform. He's been here for 4 years. We're coming up on another election. We've had more people prosecuted, and there's been more animals shot and killed from SWAT teams and raids on medical marijuana facilities. So, to be honest, if anything, it's been worse under Barack Obama.
So, if I'm him, and what would you say to me?
Oh, well, I would say first off, I'd catch him on his lie, put him on the spot as far as lying to us.
Right.
And that's all I'd have to say to him. He's going to try and sidestep it and get out of it, but the reality of it is, he's not working for you, and there isn't going to be a president or any politician that really is working for you. That's why you have to assert your own rights.
Yeah.
And as far as medical marijuana goes, I'm saying you should grow it in your front yard if you want to, and just assert it.
Right.
Quit asking for permission.
Sure.
You keep asking your parents for permission as if they run every other aspect of your life. Well, guess what? They don't run this.
Right.
And they can't control you from going out and doing drugs, just like you can't control a guy from going out and using some kind of a narcotic. All right. Or abusing those Pfizer pills. There's more kids abusing Pfizer pills than medical marijuana out there or any other kind of drug.
Very well put.
All right. So there's your corporatocracy, and the federal and they, like I said, they own federal agencies like Food and Drug Administration. So no wonder you have federal agencies coming over here to bust medical marijuana.
Yeah.
You're losing customers, man.
Yeah.
Just like Ice-T in New Jack City. If you made your own New Jack City and started hustling your customers away, they're going to try and sequester that competition.
So, just for the record.
So, what would I say to Barack Obama? Yeah. Well, what are you going to say to him, man?
Well, I know what I would say.
What are you going to say to the guy? I mean, what do you think? Do you think he's going to go home? Well, I'm really going to think about what you said to me just now.
Probably not.
Like, I'm going to be eating, pudding pops on Air Force One in 2 minutes.
Right.
I could really care about what you're doing in California.
Unfortunately, you're right.
And I could care about who's not right. He doesn't care about you, man.
Yeah. It's a question across the board.
Okay, well.
If the president was sitting here, and it was a great.
If he was sitting here, it'd be some kind of a discussion like, okay, well, you said this in 2008, and now it's 2011, so what are we doing?
Right.
We've had more people.
So you would bring him to task on some
statements
he made.
I'd put him.
And say, dude, why did you say this, and why is this?
Right, I'd put him on a hot seat. There wouldn't be some friendly conversation about, gosh, what are you going to do to try and promote medical marijuana laws? And he's going to tell me, well, we're going to talk to our constituents and different people in different states, and we're going to try and really push for it.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to tell you.
Right.
He's going to blow smoke up your ass.
Good. Well pointed.
So why don't you blow smoke?
Right. Good.
So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Well, just for the record, everybody, you can talk to James directly on Facebook.
You can talk to me directly on Facebook at We Are Change Bakersfield on Facebook.
There we go.
You can talk to me about a whole mess of things there.
Yes, great stuff. All right, say bye to everyone.
See you later.
Bye. All right, Dan Rathernaut, Artists International here. I caught up with a couple friends today, which are and who are?
Melina.
Jerry.
Marshall. The Marshall.
Okay, cool. Well, we're talking to people about medical marijuana in general, and just share with me what your feelings are on marijuana laws against the beautiful plant we know as marijuana. What do you think about that?
Well, what I know about that is that anytime there's anything good and good for you, of course, there's going to be laws prohibiting you to do those things. And so they're trying to, reinforce, the utilization of marijuana and even other sources like hemp and everything. You can't grow none of that because it's supposed to be a drug, but then yet, alcohol, cigarettes, pharmaceutical companies, all these pills just kill you, eat your liver away.
just all this stuff, and yet they let all that just pass by and it's legal.
So when you say they, you're obviously talking about the U.S. government.
Yeah.
So what do you think about if you were in Congress or something and you were in charge of legislation, what would you do to rectify the problem? What would be your solution? Everybody talks about the problem. What would be your solution? Would you make it legal across the board, for example?
I wouldn't just make it all out legal. It would have to be like a progression. You have to start off with one thing at a time,
Okay.
To solve an issue that's been an issue over like so many years in one night. You got to start off.
So you would legalize marijuana?
I wouldn't legalize it.
Make it regulated like wine?
Regulate it, yes.
Cigarettes?
Regulate it, but then I like it kind of just how it is now, even though it seems weird, but then it's really limited, and the last thing we want is the government. The last thing we want is for marijuana to be displayed like cigarettes. And you go and there's all these pre-packaged, all these farmers get to just take out of it, and it's just money making for the government. If they're going to make money off of it, they're going to make some of the best stuff, and it's going to be just like our fruits and vegetables with nothing in there.
Interesting. I haven't heard that one yet.
It's not going to be nothing in there.
So you're saying it should be...
I like it how it is now.
It's illegal according to the feds right now.
Right. It's illegal. I mean, they should, as that, they should, decriminalize it, of course.
So it's illegal, though.
Yeah, it's illegal right now.
So if you're caught with pot, you're saying that I like it illegal, but we should decriminalize it, so that doesn't make any sense. It's either legal or it's not legal.
Well, that's right just the thing. Everything's just in a shambles. That's why it is in a shambles. It shouldn't even be like this in the first place.
Absolutely.
Now we're sitting here as people that got created, and there's this government that controls us, and everything we do, and these laws. And we have to abide by them.
I think really what it just comes down to, in simple, is you just have to educate the people. I think that just the propaganda machine has been going on so long that people don't really know what marijuana is anymore. And people used to know. My great grandma, she died in '99, and she told me that her people used to grow hemp back before the 20s, and they grew marijuana. They had big tins full that they used it for medicine and all kinds of things, and it was not even a big deal.
Well, it was legal in America until 1920, and the Arslinger drug czar effect came into effect.
And a lot of it just has to do with not so much the government doesn't really care about our well-being. It's just the money. They can't really make money off it. They can if they're smart about it, but right now the general public's just not educated enough to know how to use it, and so it really comes down to it.
But that's what this is right now, a revolution.
Yeah.
We're gonna spread the word and let people know that it's not bad for you. Smoking it is not bad. Doesn't cause lung cancer, emphysema, anything. I had to use it when I was pregnant, and a lot of people were really against it. And it was natural, safe, and effective. My daughter is really smart. She's beautiful.
Talk a little bit about that. We had a discussion previously where you said that the doctors got really upset with you when you mentioned...
the first doctor, I told them, they told me, we tested you and you using you had, butter in your system. Yeah, I went for my appointment and they were like, we sent you a letter
they discontinued
being your care provider because they weren't down with me using bud as my medicine, but they wanted to give me promethazine and Zofran that supposedly cure your nausea temporarily it didn't for me because I had hyperemesis gravidarum, which 2% of pregnant women get. It's a really small percentage, but it's horrible. I was just throwing up day and night. First 3 months I lost 25 pounds. I'm like, I don't just lose 25 pounds that easily,
What?
That's just, I lost 25 pounds.
Wow.
I was like...
I came home and my wife was laying on the couch. She was like a zombie. She was laying there and sweating.
Is this after you took the doctor's med?
After I took the promethazine. You know what promethazine is, the purple liquid? Well, this is in a pill form, and it's actually their sedation pills. And they're like a class D drug. They're not even supposed to be giving them to pregnant women. But for a quick fix and for to get me out of the office and get me happy and complaining, they just give me the pills. Well, I'm sitting in there at the doctor's office with all these other women on these pills.
Right.
And I went and did research and was like, promethazine, category D, is not supposed to get her pregnant. I'm like, just a person isn't supposed to have over 6 pills in their lifetime, and I had over 60.
Oh.
My baby had over 60.
Holy.
You know?
Yeah, 22% chance of being stillborn.
22% overtaking 6 pills, 22% chance your baby was going to come out stillborn, so your baby would come out dead, or major deformity.
Oh my God.
Or like spinal problem.
That's like a lawsuit.
Yeah, but it's not,
insane.
because they say in extreme cases, which I would consider an extreme case.
Because you were pregnant?
They can go that far.
Well, she was.
Yes.
They said that she was quote unquote high risk. But
yeah, and this is what the doctor said. We both went in there, and like I started crying because this lady was like, we told her, look, we did all this information. I contacted Normal, and the district manager called me back and was like,
president.
the president of Normal called me back. Like, he really cared. I told him, I was like, this is what's going on in Bakersfield right now. This hospital is doing this to me. And the lady refused my care. She said she was going to call law enforcement because I just wanted to excuse to smoke weed.
Oh,
and I'm like, wait, you gave me these pills. I went and did research on them, and I'm not going to take them.
Wow.
And she was like, oh, look, you got to outweigh the negative over the positive.
Oh, because your baby might be killed, and you're high risk, so go ahead and just don't worry about it and weigh it out.
And it was really initially me, because she was sitting there and I was like, look, Mike, you're going to start smoking minutes.
He's like, you need to use weed. You need to use herb.
That's the only way.
And I used to smoke herb back in the day, you know, it's like, I'm cool, it's not really us right now, but... You know, I wasn't educated like I am now, and then being pregnant and really using it, and I know, I mean, it's God created it. It's good for you. Our brain has THC receptors in it, cannabinoid receptors, and like certain things. Our body creates cannabinoids for itself to feel euphoric.
Right.
So why not just smoke a little bit of more euphoria?
Well, I mean, all kidding aside, all the latest studies that they finally, with unbiased people, have, even the doctors that were anti-pot, have come out, throw up their hands and said, you know what, we were fucking idiots. We were wrong.
Yeah,
pot cures cancer. Smoking marijuana cures cancer in your. It stops the bad cells and it enhances the good cells. So we know that. Yeah. So your case is prime. I mean, this is a beautiful revelation and just awesome thing that we can share. So
yeah, exactly. That's I want people to know. A lot of pregnant women need to know, because morning sickness is a big issue.
Right.
And if you have that nausea, you're throwing up what you're eating. Your baby needs those nutrients.
Right.
They're pulling from you. Like, I was so weak. Like, my skin was flushed. Like, I was at a really low point of my life. I was like totally godless. Totally didn't want to be in love. I was just miserable. I mean, I was just throwing up everything, and I would just have bowel movements, throwing up at the same time. Like, ashamed in my house, like everywhere. Sometimes I just wake up out of bed and just like throwing up so hard and like convulsing at my back, and like just everything.
The whole time when she was pregnant and the baby would through all this trauma. But once she started smoking weed,
everything. All I had to do was wake up, like
that.
I would wake up gagging, and he'd be like so mad, like, where's your bowl? You're supposed to pack your bowl. You know, you need your medicine.
Pack at 4 in the morning.
And so I have to just he would just go downstairs and just pack me a bowl. I'd be so like weak and sick, and as soon as I just blow that smoke out, it's like it's just so medicinal.
It is.
So relieving. And all my nausea would go. I would just get, super hungry, go make a fat breakfast, like lavia.
Mary Jane rules.
Yeah, everything. And then I was happier. Like, just so many things help me focus and meditate more on things that are important in life, and
that's beautiful.
Just be focused,
That's beautiful. Right. So thank you guys for this. This is going to be
a really big.
And I just have one thing to say. Before
speak up a little bit.
I just have one thing to say, because right now I don't smoke marijuana because of reasons. I want to get a job, and it's unfortunate that even with the medical marijuana card in society, that you can't get a job without taking a drug test, and they don't test for it. I mean, they test for everything, but marijuana stays in your system for 30 days. If you smoked crack 4 days ago, or you did ecstasy or coke or whatever it was, it's gone. But because I want to, smoke weed at the end of the night, not shit.
So let me ask you this: you think there's a difference between taking 3 shots of Jack Daniels and sipping a Diet Coke late at night to relax, or smoking 3 bong hits?
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
I guess there's a big difference. So, but one you can do fine and wake up the next day and not worry about a drug test.
Yep.
So there's a discrepancy here.
Yeah.
Alcohol's 10 times more damaging than pot,
And 10 times
actually,
more
pot's not damaging, so it's
not damaging at all.
It's not
millions.
right. It's not even so. Really, yeah.
It's like it's the difference between drinking water and poison.
Right. Yeah. Literally. So there's something seriously wrong with the system at its core when I can go get Jack Daniels or tequila.
Like you can go get an unlimited amount of cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers, yeah.
You can go get an unlimited amount of like you said, the 7-Up.
7-Up.
Like what do they put in there for diet?
Oh God, the
aspartame, which gives you cancer. My aunt smokes. I mean, she drinks Jack Daniels. Well, just like not even a year ago, her tongue just fell off. Rotted away.
God.
She has a hole in her arm. They had to take the skin off and make her a new tongue. What's she drinking? Soda after soda. Still. She's like, my new tongue ain't gonna fall off now, so you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but if that's like illegal to just kill yourself with.
Well, yeah.
Anybody could just conjure up anything in a box and be like, sweet then.
Right.
And it's so wrong, you know.
Wow.
And this all approved by the government.
Yeah.
But, you know,
well, we
all know it's, you know.
Yeah. This is it's running a little long, but before we go, I think we covered the major points, and you made some excellent points. If I was Barry Soetoro, a.k.a. Barack Obama, you know, the long-legged Mac Daddy, I'm standing right here, right now, what would you say to me about marijuana in general, or anything in general, actually?
I would say educate the people, educate yourself. I would say that.
Well, you know, Obama's in there smoking joint after joint.
I would say share.
We don't know that.
I would say, you know what, share with the people, and you know, if the government's for the people, by the people, give people what they want.
All right. What about you?
Not really, because a lot of people don't want.
No, I'm Obama. You have to look at the camera.
Oh, okay.
And I'm standing here. I'm Barack. What would you say to me? What would you say to me?
I would tell Obama that. I have no idea.
You don't know what you tell the president.
I have no idea. There's so much. You can't.
There is a lot.
You can't just be like, look, Obama. First of all, I just like, look.
Right. Look.
Yeah.
I would say look at the facts.
Yeah,
there you go.
Look at the facts.
Look at the facts.
Like, I'm a living fact right here. Like,
I
use it as medicine, and this is how it was.
Actually,
and all the pharmaceutical companies, all these pills you were trying to give me could have killed my baby and were harmful to me.
Oh, yeah.
One day, my brain seriously hurt for like 4 days straight, remember? And I found out that those pills, what they do when they dissolve in there, they actually go through like a certain vein, and the pill goes straight to this part in your brain and seriously blocks the nausea from triggering that part of your brain to vomit.
Right.
And I'm like, what was one of the side effects? Head pain, migraine. I was like, wow. Like brain, bleeding in the brain.
Wow.
And they don't tell you none of this. They
right, of course not. Prescribe away.
But then, like, you smoke weed and you're considered a lower class citizen or somebody who doesn't care about things.
Right.
Or unprofessional, you know.
Well, it's the propaganda machine.
Yeah.
And I think Americans are general. Even the really arrogant, stubborn, ignorant, right-wing, leftist, whatever, are finally, because of their kids or grandchildren or friends, they're finally, I think, in big numbers waking up going, wow, maybe I was wrong about that, and maybe these people aren't so crazy, and,
people just need to be educated about the facts.
Well, the problem is some people don't want to hear the facts, see? We get ingrained. There's still people that remember our slingers, drug czar slaughter of the 30s and 40s. So they get this pot thing, and all they see is crazy hippies rolling around in mud naked, and they don't think past that. So we have to re-educate, and that's what this thing's all about, and Normal's about, and Current Citizens for Patient Rights is about. So I know we're running a little longer than normal, but thank you guys. And again, for the record, what was your names?
I'm Jerry.
Melina Marshall.
And you're dwelling in the area known as Bakersfield right now, right?
Yes.
California.
And Emmeline, my daughter, she's with her grandma right now.
Right on. You have a little picture of her handy?
Really
I think you said you brought a picture or footage or something of her.
I did. This is her playing the keyboard right there. Do you see that?
Oh.
She just jammed
out. Put it right up against the
thing.
There you go.
She's only 6 months.
Oh.
And she's been just...
That's cool.
This is warfare, bitch.
Yeah, all right. We're on camera here at the Dome. Dan Rather Not Artist International at Bakersfield Music Now, catching up with
Warfare Records.
Warfare Records, one at a time. What's your name? What you do?
Cardiac Arrest. I'm producer and rapper.
I'm Zenith. I rap and I do the media and design work.
Right.
I'm Captain Crunch. I'm a rapper and I started this shit.
Yeah.
Leviathan and I spit hot fire.
Spit hot fire.
Murder Mind State, and I make beats and rap stuff.
All right, so if I do a beat, if I just do a beat random, you guys could like ad lib over that shit. All right, so real quick on the legal end, what are your guys' feelings about laws against a plant that not only heals cancer but does so much good? What do you think about the laws against that?
I personally am pro-medicinal marijuana. I see the benefits from it. I've witnessed it, with my own eyes. I don't smoke right now because I'm not able to get a good job having it in my system. But if it were a free thing, and by free I mean if we were all free to smoke it,
right,
or ingest it, or take it medicinally, I don't think it should be illegal in any form or fashion.
So your remedy, if I was Barry Barack Obama, I'm standing here. That's his real name, by the way. What would you tell me? Make it a vitamin? Make it like wine where you could buy it over the counter, or what?
I'd say leave it the fuck alone.
Leave it the fuck alone.
I'd say leave it the
Don't
fuck alone.
tax it when I grow it in my house.
Don't put your ass into a plant that okay, it's like I look at it the same way. It's funny they call weed grass. Like it's like any other plant to me, except for it's better because there's medical benefits from using.
Yes, documented medical benefits. Right.
And the idea of prohibiting people from doing anything they want to their own bodies, in my mind, is a ridiculous idea.
All right. Your thoughts real quick, Zena.
Well, I think it's fucking ridiculous that it's not legal yet. It really doesn't make any fucking sense except, that they want you to be on various prescription meds as far as the medicinal aspect goes, but
right.
We should be free to make our own choices and do what we want. I believe in ending the whole war on drugs in general.
Well, we know by Ron Paul, I'm sure you guys know about him, that it's been a miserable failure, so I'm sure the world agrees with you on that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And your thoughts?
All I gotta say is, you can't make money if people aren't sick.
That's true. So you think the corporations are suppressing marijuana, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, most people are aware of that. And your thoughts, sir? You were chiming in there in the background.
Yeah. My main problem is that it seems like the things that are illegal are only illegal because certain people can't make money off of it. And the things that are definitely not as good for you are just thrown to you as scraps.
Right.
Kind of bullshit. So I'm really pro small government if no government at all, actually.
Right.
To be honest.
That would be an interesting concept.
I think, actually, I'm down for anarchy. I think that most people go to anarchy as a natural state, and then they give up before they reach their precipice, before they evolve to peace. People always look for peace, but they don't try and evolve it. It's the same thing with all this, I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to do this or this or this. I mean,
right.
Say that when you have magical police that just take shit away.
Yeah. So if I was Barry or Barack Obama, I'm standing here right now with this camera. What would you say to me
about medicinal marijuana?
Anything. I'm Barack Obama. What would you say to me right now?
I would say thank you for helping get rid of the terrorist threat of Osama bin Laden. But other than that, not much change has resulted from your candidacy, and you promised change, and literally that's what I've got in my pocket.
Hey, he never said it was for the better.
I'm Barack. What would you say to me? I'm standing right here. What would you say to me?
I don't even know.
You just look at me and go, "What up, homeboy?"
I understand you're under pressure, but goddamn.
Goddamn.
He was left with a lot on his plate, though, after Bush.
Well, of course.
But still, I don't think golfing and just hanging out and shit,
Are you going to vote for him again?
No,
if he runs
I'm not going to vote for a candidate this year. I'm going to vote on the issues.
Right on, right on. And you? I'm Barack. What would you say to me?
Dude! That's about it.
That's about it. That's very well put. Because he could think about that for a while.
Great philosopher, Sir Dude Maximus.
Dude Maximus. Dude.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
Right now.
Okay, here we go.
When I light up, they turn my mic up so they can hear everything that I gotta say. Crystal clear, cause the smoke that I smoke will make you choke your fucking voice up. One bowl of my shit could fuck you and your boys up. Off the loud, I'm high as a cloud, more like a satellite. Even when I'm stoned, ain't no other rapper half a sight. Purple kush in and out my lungs, man, I'm going numb. Never seen real purple folk? Let me show you some. I'm a smoker, a real toker. Got a permanent smile on my face, it's like the Joker living lifted. I'm wicked gifted, and if you're looking for that good, I'm the one to get with. I'm living.
That was good, though. That was good. That was good.
I need papers. Inhale weed vapors. Many different flavors loaded up, and then I savor, stay sharp like razor. Eat the heart of a hater. Saving the rest of later. He's in my refrigerator. Got rap snap back like an alligator trader. Turning on his trainer / fellow entertainer. My eyes look like the Terminator. Breathing sound like Vader. Be sure for the remainder of the first you'll be in danger like a fetus that's been getting too close to the coat hanger. Like a baby in the manger. You would better know about me. See you, my homies. Don't bust in your clip back to rowdy. If I got any treaties, that means that I can't be frowny. Fuck a rap song, I load a bonger, go make brownies. My style is astounding, I'm talking straight up, I'm founding. Whoever talks shit about me, I bet they don't do it loudly. The shit has got me higher than heaven, my head is cloudy.
All right, Dan Rattler, Not Artist International, here at the South Studio. We just caught up with the wonderful smoking drummer Sam I Am. Say hi, Sam, and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Well, my name's Sam. My name's Sam. Thanks for the introduction, T. Yeah, I play drums in a band called Jukebox. We have an EP out, and we're just really rocking. And I also play in Shiloh. There's no longer a band anymore. But and I also play in T-Tom, the Tallest of Men.
Sweet.
And so yeah, I have a few projects going, but I just love to play drums.
Awesome, awesome. And today we're asking people about what their feelings on marijuana in general and it being illegal and so forth in the United States. What are your feelings on that?
I think that drugs in general should be legal. I think people just need to be able to find a way of going to rehab, rehabilitation, maybe have some laws that help those people, those individuals, receive that kind of treatment.
Right on.
I think that they should make drugs legal. So I don't think there should be any laws.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people agree the war on drugs has been a complete failure.
Exactly.
And putting someone in jail just tends to make the problem worse. So.
Yeah, I think alcohol is a big influence on people too.
Well,
nowadays.
Yeah, sure.
And mostly in a negative way, and there's a lot of drugs out there that don't affect you in a negative way.
Right.
I say that marijuana is one that can heal a lot of different diseases.
Absolutely.
And it definitely affects a lot of people positively.
Yes, and I wouldn't even consider it a drug. Really, it's a plant.
Mm-hmm. It's just a plant, and I don't think there should be laws that take that away from people.
Right on. And if I was Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Obama, standing here right now, what would you say to me?
I'd probably tell him that he didn't do very well in the White House the last few years. I think that the new president, Ron Paul, is going to be a very good president, and he should change a lot of the different laws that are going on here in Bakersfield and everywhere. So so just vote Ron Paul.
Cool. All right, say bye to everyone.
Bye, guys.
Good, and Dan Rattler out here at the Shop Studio. We're just caught up with my friend. Who are you, sir, and what do you do?
Tim Gaines. I'm a small business owner here in Bakersfield. Lived here all my life. Quite familiar with the corruption in law enforcement and the district attorney's office. And I guess we're here today. You're going to ask me a few questions about my opinions on medical marijuana.
Yeah, we're doing a little documentary kind of thing. And what do you think about the laws against well, we won't even say medical marijuana or the drug marijuana. We'll just say the plant known as marijuana. Do you think laws against it are good? There should be no laws. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I think we've got an uphill fight because we've got a plant that grows in the ground that cures cancer and basically works for everything from menstrual cramps to a headache, and the top 10 drug companies can't make any money off of it. With the Congress and the House and the Senate being bought off by the drug companies, I think we're facing a real uphill fight just for people to have the right to stay alive, basically.
So if you were in a position to make a change, let's say you were president or you're governor or something, would you just basically void all laws against marijuana in general?
I personally think that all drugs should be legalized and that only violent offenders and people that actually harm society should be worthy of a prison cell.
Awesome. More of a common law man.
Yeah, definitely.
No injured party, no crime.
That's right.
I like that. I like that.
Comes up against the Constitution, it falls, because it is a victimless crime. There are no victims. It's all taxation without representation.
Right, yeah. It's so well put. If I was Mr. Obama, Barack, Barry, Sortoro sitting here and I walk in, what would you say to me right now?
Why don't you kill yourself? No, seriously, I don't know. I would just, there's so many things. I mean, why don't we have programs to help nonviolent drug offenders get their lives in order and focus more on violent criminals and sex offenders staying behind bars instead of worry about who's smoking what? And with that Mexican girl that just got 10 years in prison for $30 worth of marijuana.
Wow.
I mean, there's just some ridiculous things going on.
Yeah, it's sad situation. So, I'm Barack, and I'm not going to kill myself probably, but if I turn on my puppet masters, they might kill me. So.
That's true.
Let's call it JFK.
That's right. Didn't he tell everyone that he was going to tell the Justice Department and the DEA that they were going to leave them alone and let them do their thing?
Yeah.
Seems like I remember. I could have been stoned. Seemed like I remember something like that.
Now,
might have short-term memory loss.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about you had some really good research links that I wanted you to expand on. You said, hey, you should mention this and this and this. Like, go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Okay, well, if there was any doubt about whether marijuana cures cancer or not, maybe we could look at like the two leading medical research facilities, which would be Harvard and Oxford, which they have both released studies that raw cannabis stops the spread of cancer cells. And for some reason, it never made the Ask Your Doctor controlled news.
Wow.
Also here in Kern County, there's a lot of people that smoke pot that you don't know smoke pot because 1 in 6 people that live in Kern County have their medical marijuana card, and more are going to get it every day. So do they want to put 1 in 6 people in Kern County in jail? Maybe they could let all the child molesters out of jail and put all the weed smokers in jail.
Yeah, seems upside down. Well, thanks for your time, and say bye to everyone.
So you gotta ask yourself, what's the problem here? All this fuss over a plant. Really? How sad is that? Did this video make you think a little bit at least? Did it make you want to know more facts? What are your beliefs on this subject and why do you have them? I hope you are challenged to look. There are people out there that are basically domestic terrorists, the oppressors, They want you to believe pot is bad, and innocent people should be in jail for victimless crimes. This insanity is going to stop. All pot laws are unlawful because there is no victim. It's that simple. Learn your right. Make a stand. Pass it on. And know you can make a difference. Brought to you by Artists International, 661-326-1604. and in association with Bakersfield Normal, Kern Citizens for Patient Rights, and We Are Change Bakersfield.
Let's get this legalized.
Yeah. And if I was Barry Sartori, President Obama, and I was standing here right now, what would you tell me?
I would tell you, ouch, man.
Yeah.
Burn, dog. You know what, bro? We're playing.
I'm saying he's wasting a lot of resources and energy and money on cannabis, and he should use it towards something else.
Good point.
Honestly, I'd tell him he's a motherfucker.
You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. You should be ashamed of yourself, young man.
I would say educate the people, educate yourself.
Not much change has resulted from your candidacy, and you promised change, and literally that's what I've got in my pocket.
That he didn't do very well in the White House the last years.
I don't know. I would just. There's so many things. Why don't we have programs to help nonviolent drug offenders get their lives in order and focus more on violent criminals and sex offenders staying behind bars instead of worry about who's smoking what?